The year is 1988. I'm a little Russian Jewish kid, just got to America with his parents, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching the Oscars with my parents. And every other name that's announced for directors and producers, and every other name that is thanked by the winners of the best actor and actresses is a Jewish name. I want to thank so and so Shapiro and so Rifkin and so Bernstein, and the list goes on and on and on and on. And I remember my parents kind of jokingly sitting there and saying to me, look, Greg, look at all these Jews. How many Jews do you think there are in America? I'm like, I don't know. Tens of hundreds of millions? They're like, no. There's like, at that time, I think, what was like 5 million, 6 million, 7 million? I was like, can't be. And they were like, how many Jews do you think there are in the world? I'm like, I don't know. They're like 14 million. Number hasn't changed in 30 years. I was like, can't be. They're like, you know who started Hollywood? These guys that came from Odessa, Ukraine, used to be religious, came to America with nothing. They weren't accepted by the Gentiles, the white Gentiles, so they decided, let's go to California, let's go to this farmland, empty space, and start our own industry. It's gonna be like what we did in Odessa with the comedy. My friends, like, if you watch today, you see all that stuff like Seinfeld, Larry David, all that kind of humor, all the stuff from Mel Brooks, all the stuff that you see today from Jewish comedians, like that you've ever seen, Jackie Mason, all that stuff is from one place. It comes from one place. It doesn't come from Hollywood. It comes from a place called Odessa, Ukraine. It's Odessa humor. It's a port city in Ukraine. You know, this kind of fast, witty, sarcastic, tongue-in-cheek stuff. You know what I'm saying? Ribby, kind of dig into you kind of stuff. That's Odessa, Ukraine, which became a place called Hollywood, which was an empty piece of farmland. And I'll tell you guys, and then I remember, like, as a kid, I was watching sports, and then I saw, like, the commissioner of the NBA, David Stern, and I'm like, and then I saw the commissioner in the NHL, who I found out actually was David Stern's assistant, Gary Bettman. And I realized something, and I'm like, wow, like, we came to America, and we basically worked hard, and we did what we had to do. We did our thing. And I think my friend is here. 1 second. No. And so, we over the years we basically got into a situation where we went from basically being these poor, downtrodden immigrants that came at the turn of the century, last century, to basically having our names on every single building and owning every single team. And they say, like, Jews run Hollywood. We don't run it. We created that stuff because we weren't accepted by the non-Jewish world. What do you want us to do, right? But the thing is, as I got older, I realized that, if the Jew is not going to connect himself to Torah and mitzvot and Hashem, he's going to go into certain places to where he's going to start to now think that he is, an accepted member of society. I'm telling you guys, like, you look at Jewish history, the same cycle repeats itself. We get into a society, we move up, we get powerful, and then people are like, wait a minute, these guys run stuff. They run SHIT over here, they run Hollywood, they run this, they created this, And then what happens is the envy starts to creep in. But the thing is, like, this envy, it's not like an envy like regular human jealousy, right? It's something else. It's something to where people are looking at us, and actually, my friends, this has to do with what Louis Farrakhan has been saying for the last few years, and is saying today. People think that Louis Farrakhan is like just this kind of like garden variety anti-Semite, and he should be condemned, and this and that and the other. My friends, you have to listen to his words very carefully. He's talking at us. He's talking to us, the Jews who are disconnected from Hashem. He's saying, hey guys, like, you run stuff, right? But in the process of running stuff, you basically forgot who you are, most of you. You forgot your connection to God. You forgot modesty. You forgot Torah. You forgot mitzvot. You forgot everything. You guys think that you're now American. You know, you're intermarrying, you're assimilating. I mean, he's not saying that really, but he's not using those words. But again, guys, if you actually listen to him, listen to his words, don't just get all caught up in like this, like, oh, anti-Semite. Like he is. He's an anti-Semite, but he's saying certain things. It's kind of like, I liken him to Bilam, you know, from the Torah, the prophet, like, or the person who was trying to curse us. Yeah, he's trying to curse us, but in the process, he's saying truth. He's saying the truth. Bilam said, you know, these people are connected to Hashem. These people have the power, you know, of Hashem. They have the power of prophecy. He was also a prophet, right? But he wanted to hurt us. But his words were not, like, they weren't sheker. They weren't lies. Just like Farrakhan is not lying. He just has ulterior motives. But what he's saying is, and there's a video that I posted, you know, he's talking about like 10 years ago, how these black men are basketball players in the NBA, and how all the owners of the teams, not all, but a lot, are Jews. You're talking about Mark Cuban, you know, is the owner of Miami Heat, some other Jewish guy, and then there was like Dan Gilbert, Cleveland Cavaliers, and he was saying how all these guys make money off of these black players. You know, and that got me thinking, you know, over the years, it went from us going from rags to riches, you know, building ourselves up, to just basically forgetting who we are and thinking, I'm just an American like everybody else. You know, this David Stern, a blessed memory, and this Gary Bettman and all these guys, yeah, we're just Americans like everybody else. My friends, Hashem can use anybody he wants to remind us who we are. Hashem can use anybody he wants to remind Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld and what's his name? Who's that director? Steven Spielberg, Billy Crystal. He can use anybody he wants to remind us of who we are. And the funny part is that when they remind us who we are, you know what our reaction is for the most part? Oh, and you know, they did it this week with this whole Jewish privilege hashtag. They're like, oh, privilege. My family went through the Holocaust and this and this and this. Okay, so they're reminding us who we are, and what is our reaction? Oh, but we're just as downtrodden as you are. My friends, nobody believes it. Nobody believes it, right? They don't believe it. They don't believe that we are competing in the oppressed people's Olympics. You know why? Because we went from rags to riches. We came to America, started from the bottom, now we're here. It's not believable anymore. The fact that Jews are downtrodden is not believable anymore. You know, poor families in, I don't know, Williamsburg notwithstanding, poor Hasidic families, and even them, they're not that poor. It's not believable anymore, my friends. We cannot play the downtrodden card anymore. We have to play the God card now. We have to play the Torah card. We have to show Mr. Farrakhan that he's wrong. We actually have to listen to him. We have to listen to Nick Cannon. We have to listen to even Ice Cube. We have to listen to these people, because you know what? They're saying, there's an element of truth to what an anti-Semite is saying. He might be an anti-Semite, he had nefarious, you know, motives, but there's an element of truth to what these people say. They don't just say things just to say them and to, you know, rile people up. You know, they may be jealous, they may be envious, whatever it is, but you know what? Hashem can speak through anybody he wants. He can wake people up any way they want. Any way he wants. My friends, I mean, people are getting upset. They're like, oh, let me tell you about my family who went through this. My friends, I could just as well sit here. I'm a Russian Jew. My parents were refuseniks for 10 years. They were dissidents in the Soviet Union. They got their citizenship taken away. They got their jobs. They got fired from their jobs. You know, just because they're Jewish, they had Jew written on their passport, on their nationality. I could sit here and talk to you all day about that stuff. But I'm not. I'm sitting here in Jerusalem, a free Jew in my land, and I know who I am. I don't need Farrakhan to remind me who I am. But clearly, 80% of you guys do. And I'm glad at least people are waking up to who they are, But don't get upset. Don't get upset, my friends. It's true. We went from rags to riches, and now we don't run Hollywood. We started Hollywood. And all the humor you see, all this stuff. Guys, the sad part to me is, and I told this to my sister today, they did the Pew survey 2013. How do Jews connect to their Judaism, to their heritage? What is the number one thing they said? Remembering the Holocaust. You connect to your heritage by remembering death. Does that make any sense to you? We're the only nation that connects to our heritage to remember when we remember our own mass extermination or someone's attempt to do it. Does that make any freaking sense to you? And then the second thing was like humor, which I guess we use to deal with that stuff, which I guess is good, which is kind of the psychological trick we do to ourselves. And then the third thing was like cuisine or something like that. So basically you have the Holocaust, humor, and bagels and lax. These are the things that give us our identity, American Jews. This is 2013. I'm pretty sure it hasn't changed in 7 years, my friends. And if you look at that list, I think mitzvot, Torah mitzvot was like all the way on the bottom. Like I call it the sediment of the wine bottle. The land of Israel was also somewhere there on the bottom. Like, I don't know, guys. Still in Gullus. Like I said the other day, we got all the money, we got all our names, all the buildings, we got all that jazz. Still up here, still in Gullus, still in exile. And when we're called out on all that stuff, and people tell us we have privilege because we didn't earn privilege, we earned our, what we have from, again, rags to riches. What do? We go back into the, yeah, you see me? We go back into this. Oh, I went through the Holocaust. I'm a downtrodden Jew just like you, black people. Come on, let's have the oppressed people's Olympics. No. You don't get to do that. We don't get to do that. My friends, we don't get to do that no more. Started from the bottom, now we're here. We do not get to do that anymore. We cannot play that card. The only card we could play is Hashem and Torah. And that is what Mr. Farrakhan is reminding us of. Mr. Bilam. That is Hashem using Mr. Bilam to remind us, hey, excuse me, Mr. Mark Cuban, excuse me, Mr. Podoloff, and Mr. Stern, and Mr. Bettman, excuse me, Mr. Gilbert, okay, Mr. Seelig, do you remember who you are? Yeah. You say no more Odessa. My friend is over here. No more Odessa, Ukraine, my friend, right? Yerushalayim Shel Zahav. He's barely breathing, not because he has COVID, just because it's hot. It's hot out here in Jerusalem. Anyways, folks, Erev Shabbos, Baruch Hashem. I'm going to leave you guys with a view that I couldn't do the other day. It was dark. Alright. Yeah. That's what's up. If you're tired of Mr. Farrakhan, if you're tired of Mr. Sharpton, if you're tired of Mr. whoever, Mr. Cannon. Oh, see, UN truck. Our friends from the UN are here. Oh, that's nice. In America you have Farrakhan. Here you have the UN. So, you can't get away. There's no getting away from our enemies. So, if you're tired of them, you guys are invited. Cooking some Shabbos dinner soon. I could smell it. You guys are invited, you know? No more Farrakhans, no more Nick Cannons, no more Ice Cubes. Just Hashem and the air. The air of Israel will make you wise. That's in the Gemara. Alright guys, Shabbat Shalom.